Hello everyone and welcome back to Packs and Recreation. And today we are back to the bundle saga, this time with the one missing bundle. I had a kind of a hard time to pull this one, not gonna lie. The gift bundle from Modern Horizons 3. Now, why is it so hard to get, besides price, of course? I don't know if people just love the box art so much, which, I mean, nothing against Tamiyo. I love Tamiyo, and her newest card is actually pretty good. I mean, she's dead in terms of like canon, so there is that. But the gift bundles are always the same. Now you may be wondering, what is a gift bundle? And if that's the case, and this is your first time looking at this, the main difference with a normal bundle is actually the gift of magic, of course. No, but technically you get the same, so you get 9 play boosters. You get traditional and regular, traditional foil and regular basic lands. So this doesn't change compared to the normal one. If you want to see the normal one, have a link there. The alt art traditional foil power balance, that's something. The box is different, of course, and the box is, I have to say, I prefer this one to the other one. And the spin down die. Now, one thing that is interesting is that if you look at a normal Modern Horizons 3 bundle, you may be thinking, well, maybe there is different stuff here, right? Like, it says and claims now with 9 play boosters, but that's actually the same, pretty much the same. So normally the gift bundles that are normally released around Christmas, or holidays or whatever you want to call them. And technically the reason for them being called gift bundle is because it's the bundle that you're supposed to gift, which is a little bit more expensive, a little bit more fancy, and a little bit more difficult to get, which kind of defeats the purpose, really, because if it is a gift bundle, you will assume that the gift bundle is easier to obtain than the normal bundle, because it is the one that, looking at the name, you want your grandma to buy you, or your girlfriend, boyfriend, or friends, or whatever, because it is the one that you gift. But it might as well be called the collector's bundle because it's more difficult to get, more expensive, and it's always released 2 to 3 weeks after the normal one. So, and if you look historically, yes, it's around Christmas more or less that we have special bundles. But this year they decided to go with the gift bundle for Modern Horizons 3 because it's Modern Horizons and everyone loves it. And then we have like this TV special edition one for Duskmourn. And Duskmourn is not releasing on Christmas, it's actually releasing in October because of Halloween. So, yeah, right? And normally the gift bundle, the one thing that it has that you go like, well, that's crazy, is a collector's booster somewhere, right? But it doesn't show in the box. It is here, actually. You see, normally when you buy a bundle, it says, I guess you get 9, 14 cards. I love how 9 is always in words and 14 is a number. So you see 14 and you go, whoa, 14 boosters? Like, no, not 14 boosters, son. And then you get 15 traditional foil, 15 regular basic lands distributed like this. So you have normal ones and full art ones. The alt art power balance, the box, the die, and there you go. And you get +2 reference cards. So everyone always ignores this because reference cards. But if you look at this box, and I'm just showing this as a PSA, right? I mean, just in case, I don't know. This is the type of marketing that really triggers me. You get 9 14 card Modern Horizons 3 play boosters, which, okay, you don't see any collector booster in the picture, which is weird because then plus they don't reference the reference cards, which it contains, if I recall correctly. You just get 1 15 card Modern Horizons 3 collector booster, which you will assume they will put somewhere, as a wow kind of thing, but it's not. And the alt art traditional foil power balance, which same box is different, and at least everything is full art according to the picture, and there you go. But we are going to check this. If you want to see this one in more detail, the normal one, then look at the link above or in the description. I don't know where we put those things anymore. let's go. It's always a pain to open these ones. I mean, look at this. I was about to say like, oh, it's a pain to open this one. It's so pretty. And the cardboard is just like giving up on me like, nah, bro. Like, you have to let go. This is the bad cardboard. You don't keep this one. You don't keep the box of the box. You just keep the box. Don't overstay your cardboard. So there is that. Nothing else there besides two anti-stealing mechanisms, because which is funny, and this is like the podcast part of the video. Like, it's funny because all this fuzz, all this thing for a gift bundle, just because it has a collector booster. Like, oh yeah, collector boosters can be very expensive, and depending on the store, they can reach like $30, $50, depending on where the hell you buy your collector boosters. But really, all of this for just like, I mean, the box is beautiful. I prefer this to the other one, don't get me wrong, but still. And normally the die actually slaps. But in last year, it was in with Jurassic Park. So it was Jurassic Park themed. The inside is kind of cool. It looks like the playmat that we have. The box is great. And I mean, if you like Japanese art and so on, this is just great. Just Tamiyo there. And I guess maybe you can make some sort of narrative here, because if you remember in the other one, which if you don't, link below, like if you remember in the other one, Ajani is in both sides. It's the same illustration, and it was kind of meh. Here they go like, no, okay, so you have Tamiyo here, and then on the back, the dragon, which I don't remember the name of the dragon, but like there's some narrative going on here, which is at least is cool. And the art kind of wraps around the box, so it's not just repeating the same art twice, which is good. I mean, it's kind of foilish. I don't know if you can appreciate that in the video, but it is kind of foilish. Yeah, you can see it. Like, it's kind of foilish, which is actually great. It complements the art pretty nice. I know there's a lot of blah blah for what is basically a cardboard box, but bear with me. We love cardboard boxes here, right? That's the whole thing. Now, this is the new divider for bundles, which is a disappointment because we don't have a cup anymore, as you know. This is the spin down die, which let us get. Now, this is a very nice spin down die. Compared to the other one, this is less discreet. And of course, this is in the Tamiyo colors, so I guess if you prefer Tamiyo over Ajani, well, there you go. It's actually very nice, and it's one of those where, depending on where the light shines, you actually see more or less sparkles. So, not bad. I mean, it's not my favorite die, but it's certainly, right there. The other one is more discreet, right? If you compare it to the other one, which just basically looks black, and in this case it looks scratched, but trust me, it came like that. Like, when you get light into it, which we did in the other video, you see that it's actually kind of green, and that's cool. This one is more like flashy, but, overall, if you want the die, don't worry. You can likely buy it for like $1 to $5, depending on your country and your local game stores, because someone bought this, opened everything, and maybe just wanted the box, or they just sold everything. So you can actually just sell the contents of a bundle for parts, and a lot of stores will buy them from you, and a lot of people will actually buy them from you because, as you can see, like, except this, like no one cares about this except me. Like a couple of dividers. So Tamiyo before and after planeswalking. Or igniting spark. Sorry, that's the correct term here. Like some people just like the box, some people just like the die, and they will buy just that. So you can actually, if you just want some part of it, you can actually make quote unquote some profit from a bundle. But well, not profit. Maybe you can mitigate the losses. So there's a collector booster. I remember back in the Lord of the Rings chase, there was a gift bundle for Lord of the Rings, and it was crazy expensive, not only because, well, it was a gift bundle from Lord of the Rings, but because the legend said that since the gift bundle came afterwards, that's where the One Ring was, because, bundles don't have the same rules as a box. Like, this is one of the reasons why people like bundles. I don't know if they changed this, to be honest, so I may be saying wrong facts, but for the longest time, I think it's still the case. If you buy a bundle, all 9 boosters are completely random, which is great and bad. So when you buy a box, like a booster box, or a booster display, you have your probabilities. So you know that in a box you get like 1 to 3 mythics, although it depends on the set. Some sets is more, some sets is less, and you get X amount of rares, which is more or less the amount of boosters that you have, because each booster contains a rare at least. So that you have those possibilities. But bundles, I remember this craziness for the longest time. People just prefer this because it's completely random. So you actually can get 0 mythics, or you can get 5 mythics. Maybe it depends on your luck, because this is all just a gacha game. Then you have a collector booster, and you have the lands in here. Which let's just open that right away. Let's put the die in here. Let's put the boosters here. Collector booster. Now I love these paper boosters. They just feel so weird. I love the power glove. It's so bad. So power balance in foil. Power balance is one of those cards. Costs 2 red. You know that bundle cards, the one that comes with the bundle, are always like, you are nice, yet you can't be too nice because you are easily accessible, right? So that's kind of what happens here. So for 2 red, there's an enchantment that says whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you do, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost if the 2 spells have the same mana value. So this card is actually only cool if your entire deck is around a value, or if you play around a companion and it's like, oh, everything is 2 mana value because you're playing for pairs or something. Then full art lands, which are actually very nice. In case you missed the detail, in all full art lands, there is one of the 3 main Eldrazi ravaging. So Ulamog, Jog-Sothoth, I was about to say Jog-Sothoth for some reason, Kozilek, and Emrakul. Emrakul is in swamps because hashtag no preference for red, but preference for red. Then Kozilek again, and then Ulamog again, and then Kozilek again. Although I don't know who told me that it's not really that, because I haven't checked, but it's like Ulamog, Kozilek, Emrakul, and then these are the fusions, maybe? I don't know. I haven't checked that properly. Oh, okay, so you actually get normal lands as well in foil, which is kind of disappointing, not gonna lie. I mean, I don't have anything against the normal lands, and so every time I say oh, normal lands, F these, I feel very bad for the artists that drew the normal lands. And you may be thinking oh, well, don't feel bad, they got paid, right? And it's yeah, but I feel like no one appreciates the normal lands, you know what I mean? And then we have the same, but not foil. And then you get the 2 reference cards. So this wasn't in the box, guys. Woo, free stuff. Because again, for some reason, they didn't feel like this was bonus worthy in the gift bundle. And yet in the normal bundles, this is always, bonus worthy. Oh, and there is more. You get 2 reference cards. Okay, I guess. Maybe this, if this is the first time you play Magic in your life. So let's put all this together. It's already bent. By the way, this is pointless. I just do this out of reflex, but this is pointless because, in case you don't know, cards only bend because of humidity. So it's pointless to just counter bend them. It's just a temporary fix. Okay. So now let's talk about numbers. Let's crack these boosters, see what's up. Now, I mean, this is kind of, at the end of the video, we will engage the good old, is it worth it to buy? And it's we'll talk about it in a second. Actually, we can talk about it now, maybe, but because it's the pools that we're going to get are just random pools. By the way, spoilers, I guess. Failure, let's go. This is how you do pro opening, which sometimes I feel tempted to do, to be honest, because I emphasize the podcast aspect of the video. So you put me in your secondary screen or in one corner, you listen to my weird accent, and I just talk about random TCG stuff. And we're both happy, right? But sometimes people just want to see the pools, and don't get me wrong. Sometimes I like to see the cards as I open them. So I say oh, okay, well, that's right? I know these cards, but I just like seeing them. I mean, I guess that's the whole point. If you don't enjoy your hobbies, what's the point? Even if your hobby is just collecting cardboard. But I've seen some people that I think are way. Again, really? I've seen some people that I think are way better than me. Bro, these things are rotten. Worst wrappers ever. What the hell is this? So I seen some people that are way better than me at this like opening thing because they go right to the thing, right? Like they just go like, for example, okay, Kami, Eerie Auxiliary, Molten Gatekeeper, Tune the Narrative, Warped Tusker, which is actually comes first than white cards, in case you didn't realize that. I was watching a video about organizing cards the other day, and the guy said, like, yeah, the order is always the same, which is something we already talked about, which is like, well, the order in Magic, actually in Pokemon is the same, and Yugi kind of has an order as well, but in Magic the order is always the same, which is in the back of the card, right? It's like white, blue, black, red, green. That's the order, and then you can see by the collector number of the card, and that's how it is. So it's always like that. And I remember that the person said, I think was 8th place Dan, I think was the name of the channel, which shut out, but not shut up, shut out, okay, just in case my accent is that aggressive. But I remember that he said something like, yeah, it goes like this, right? Like white, blue, black, red, green, multicolored, colorless. And I was like, yep, I agreed. And then I realized that I also said that in a video. Ooh, for this trend, let's go. And with the Eldrazi's, you kind of realize that it's not really like that. Like, artifacts are the last thing. Colorless is the first thing, actually. Because Eldrazi's are colorless, and their number is always before white. So, although there are some weird things as well. Like, in that video, he gave an example. He was like showing Thunder Junction, and he pointed rightfully so at the fact that Jace, the Jace Planeswalker card, was one of the latest numbers in the set instead of just being a blue card, which I don't know if that's explained anywhere. That's the kind of thing that I will really like Gavin to reply. Like I would love if Gavin, by the way, free video idea, Gavin, in case you obviously like to see people opening cards that you work every day with and you're so tired of looking at. But in case you're watching this channel, Gavin, free video idea. Just do like a doctor's Q&A kind of thing, right? Like people send you questions, just reply to questions. Maybe he already did that and I never seen those videos. I know that he replies to questions in videos. I don't know if he does just a video replying to comments or something like that. I don't know. I'm sounding like a boomer, but the whole point here will be, for example, like, why is that Jace the latest number in the set? Like, what happened there, right? And, you know, maybe Gavin looks at that and replies like, I don't know, I don't have any say on that. Or he knows or asks around or whatever, and he says something like, well, you know, the reason why Jace is actually the last numbered card in that set is because of lore, because in that set, it's only revealed at the end of the story that it wasn't Ashiok, it was Jace. So that's why that card is the last thing, which is Jace's reveal, right? And you're like, oh my god, like after you thought that everything was done, which is the cards, then it is Jace. That's how I interpret it. But sometimes, like, it gets with Wizards, we get to a point where it's kind of like Hideo Kojima. Like, I love Kojima with a passion. I love his games, but everything that comes before a bot is worthless. But it comes to a point where you start wondering, like, did he really think about that, or, you know, or it's just like we're giving him too much credit, right? Like, for example, with Metal Gear Solid 2, now this is a video game podcast, motherfucker. Like with Metal Gear Solid 2, you can't, I guess, you can't argue that he wasn't intentional, because the themes are so in your face, and that it's like, okay, the game is about this, and the game is about memes and how we interact with information with the internet, and the next steps, and Raiden gaining its own identity, or his own identity, and all that stuff, right? Like, and how basically he gave us the same game again, which was what people wanted and people were asking for, and then people got angry because they weren't playing like a Solid Snake, and he knew And that's why the whole application. And that's why the whole game is about that. It's about, which you have to wonder, was it intentional to just laugh in the face of your fans? And I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean, if you like Kojima, you like his style, his smirkiness, right? Like he was laughing in our faces, but rightfully so. He was like, well, I mean, to be fair, I didn't catch Metal Gear Solid 2 in the moment. I played it like years later, so I wasn't like as angry as a lot of people. I wasn't waiting for it. I didn't buy Zone of the Enders 2 just to play that demo, etc. But he knew that people were just like, oh, we want to play another game just with better graphics. Same thing was with better graphics. Like, you know, people were like on fire with that. He knew, and therefore the whole game is all about, didn't you want this? Didn't you want this? See, it's the same freaking game. Like, it's because it's all the game is about, like, ooh, the whole game is about like simulating. It's a Solid Snake simulator kind of thing, right? So that's the genius of Kojima. Now, you travel in time. We have multiple examples of this, but just the one that hurts the most, pun intended, is Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. So Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, I don't know if Kojima was intentional in everything that he did, because you play that game, and the game is not finished, which is, I guess, a very well-known fact by this point. The game is not finished. When you finish playing the game, I was left with a phantom pain. Like, I was like, I am missing half the game. Like, there is a game here that I'm missing, that is hurting. There is a story that I am not seeing, and it's not there. Ooh, Permadallion, let's go! And full art, which is fairly weird for a normal booster. That's cool. Rise Up White Players, Power Balance. Okay, cool. Which was the name of a scam that you were supposed to wear that will like balance your magnetic fields or something like that. Bogart Trawler in foil, a full island, and a Phyrexian Germ. So, you know what I mean? Like, and then you know that Kojima was fired from Konami and he couldn't finish the game and blah, blah, blah. So you have to wonder, did he pick that name because he knew where the game was going? Did he close the game in a way that he was like, ain't no way we're finishing this. You know what I mean? Like, let's finish it as a Phantom Pain. Like, the whole game just feels like he played us like a damn fiddle, right? Like, that's kind of the whole theme. And you wonder, like, is it accidental or is it intentional? Like, it gets to the point where you don't know if he really is that much of a genius, or you just don't know better. And in this case, it's the same with Wizards, right? Like, I look at that Jace number placement, and it's a very, pointless kind of thing. Like, only people like me care about that. Like, oh, why is the number this number? Maybe it has a meaning and things like that. And it's like, well, maybe it's because of the story, right? Oh, Fanatic of Runners. Like, maybe it's because of the story. Maybe it's because of where it fits in the story. Jace appears at the very last second, and you weren't counting on Jace. Jace basically did like a Scooby-Doo villain kind of thing, right? And you're like, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then, but then maybe it just was because they were like, oh, just add Jace to the set. Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it was like that, like just add Jace to the set, because they designed with 2 years ahead of time, right? So that shouldn't be the case. But then again, we also have, like, the Beyond boosters from Assassin's Creed are basically the same boosters from Aftermath. So, and they knew ahead of time, but they just couldn't change it because of, I don't know, contractual obligations or something. So, up to anyone's guess, Harbinger of the Seas, not bad. Mandibular Kite, and this is what I mean when I say, like, oh, we do kind of a podcast here. Like, we open cards, do kind of a podcast. You chill, I chill, although I'm dying here, it's so hot. And last but not least, Collector Booster, Modern Horizons 3. Now, are we going to pull anything crazy? Nah. We didn't even pull. We got some decent pulls in the normal boosters, but I am not aiming for anything crazy with the Collector Booster. But let's see. Who knows? So everything is foil. Everything is foil. Everything is foil. So breathe your last, or breath your last, not breathe, right? Jolted Awake, Bountiful Landscape, Fangs of Calonia, Quest for the Necropolis, Frogmere Enforcer, Island in foil, and here's where the party starts for collector boosters. Let's see. A retro border, because it's from Modern Horizons 2, Dragon's Rage Channeler, okay. Unstable Amulet, retro frame as well, but this case is Modern Horizons 3. Urza's Incubator, not bad. As Urza's Incubator enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creature spells of the chosen type cost 2 less to cast, which is actually pretty good. So, okay, cool. Ooh, Korem the Undertaker, which is one of the commanders from the commander decks. It's actually the co-commander or the secondary commander of the Goyf deck. That is not really a Goyf deck. We covered that in our review. Check that if you want a very lengthy podcast. Disruptor Flute. Okay. And by the way, this is like edge foil or whatever it's called. Disruptor Flute. Okay, Flash. As Disruptor Flute enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Spells with the chosen name cost 3 more to cast. Okay. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can be activated unless there are mana abilities. The reason why this card is not that expensive is because this is a very modern, like normal Magic type of card. But in Commander, it's kind of, I mean, you can try, you can like aim for the Commander and just be like, yep, and people have to like extra Commander cost for it, I guess. Primal Prayers. When Primal Prayers enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. So retro frame, not foil. Looks kind of plasticky, to be honest. Not bad. This is in the energy deck? No, because not the colors. So this is just energy. You may cast creature spells with mana value 3 or less by paying energy rather than paying 1 energy rather than paying the mana cost. If you cast a spell this way, you may cast it as Straight Hat Flash. And last but not least, the White Orchid Phantom, which not bad. In retro foil, very foil, as you can see, almost blindly foil. Spirit Knight, 2/2, it costs 2 white, it has flying and first strike. When White Orchid Phantom enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target on basic land. Its controller may search the library for a basic land card, bring to the battlefield tab, then shuffle. Not great, not bad. An Eldrazi Spawn token, which is very nice in foil, and a Whale token. I mean, it's more like a shark, but I will take it. So, that's the bundle. Now, is it worth it to buy the gift bundle? Not really. I mean, look at these dividers, bro. You get some counters. Does anyone use the cardboard ones? Like I use them. I have a box of them. You know those boxes for nails and screws, like that you buy in a how do you call them? Like those shops, those stores for men stuff that you can buy. You can buy hammers and shit. Utility stores, I think it's called. I don't remember the name, but you buy one of those. They just have a bunch of like compartments for, and I have a bunch of these. Sometimes we use them, sometimes we don't, because I have dice for these as well. So you get these dividers, which I guess are cool. They are already bent because of how this thing works. So that's a shame. You get the booster, so that's completely random. You can get the craziest pulls ever, or whatever it pulls. Like, that's whatever. You get these lands, which, gotta be honest, I actually like these full art lands, and you can actually understand right away what they are, like mountain, swamp. Well, swamp is kind of not there right there, but like all the others, you can kind of like understand very fast what they are. You get a power balance in foil. You get a bunch of non-foil lands as well, the usual. And then it really, really comes down to, at least in my opinion, besides the boosters it is, to the box and the die. Now, if you ask me, I like this combination. Now, is it worth it whatever they are asking for these? Because I've seen this for $80 and even $100. Not really. They are charging that because of the collector booster and the possibility of maybe getting a numbered Eldrazi card or something like that. So, because it's a collector booster there, and maybe because it's rare, so people go crazy for rares, and like, yeah, the die is cool. But if you really want the die, just look at it online. Like, likely someone is selling it. Maybe it's me, who knows? But I don't sell it. I just put them all under my pillow for the dirt, man. So that's it. I guess it comes down to preference, when as is always the case with bundles, and even more with gift bundles. I think this is the pre-tier 1 from the 2 in Modern Horizons 3. And you may be thinking, well, that's obvious, this is an expensive one. It's not always the case. We have opened some others in the past. You can see the playlist for bundles. And a lot of times the normal bundle is just better in aesthetics. Well, although aesthetics are subjective, so it really comes down to, if you don't like Tamiyo or Japanese aesthetics, maybe you just like Ajani just charging very PNG-like to the thing. But yeah, that was it. Let me know down below what you think about this in the comments, and what you think about the pools. Will you buy this over the normal one or none of them? And I will see you next time on PAX and Recreation. Bye.